What's up, you guys? Welcome to the December 31st edition of NBA 3-Ball presented by Establish the Run. I'm your host, Mike Gallagher. Get ready for 10 minutes of NBA action. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to us, of course, and give us a comment on how we're doing. Let's hop into it. We got the Spurs to talk about. That is LaMarcus Aldridge. He has knee soreness. He's having a really rough start to the season. And Greg Popovich said he has a sore knee. There's nothing ripped or torn or anything like that, which probably means he had an MRI. He said the knee swelled up on him a little bit, and this early in the season, after a back-to-back, we're not taking any chances of it getting any worse. Yeah, not great for LMA, who's had injury history, who's older now, and he's having a horrible year so far. He has a career-low usage rate, minutes, and true shooting. Just looks horrible. Has 125 defensive rating. It's one of the worst in the NBA among starters. The Spurs are significantly better with him off the court. And going back in the preseason, DeJounte had said that LaMarcus has to fit into our system now. So it's not great news for LaMarcus. And possibly his season could be in trouble here, especially down the line. They want to trade him. They'll probably take it real easy on him. John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins will make their Rockets debut along with Eric Gordon on Thursday. Great news for them. DeMarcus may cut into Christian Wood a little bit. Cousins had said that he's going to play more of the 5 while Wood plays some 4 when they overlap. Probably only going to be like 4 or 5 minutes of overlap, really at most even. It shouldn't affect Wood much, but Wood's leading the NBA in rollman possessions. His usage is through the roof. Him and Harden have a really good rapport, so Cousins will kind of get in the work a little bit of that in the way there. And obviously, John Wall is a higher usage guy than your David Nwabas and Jason Tates and all these guys who don't take shots, so he'll get a little bit of a usage hit. But Harden will be a beast, but just a little bit of a tick down for Wood. Moving to the Pacers, TJ Warren has left foot soreness, and he is out. That is not the same right foot that had plantar fasciitis back in the preseason and back in August. So, I mean, is that good or bad news that he has possibly soreness in both feet? Like, it's not great. So, back in the preseason, Aaron Holiday had actually started with Malcolm Brogdon, Victor Oladipo, Sabonis, and Miles when those guys were available. So, he would be my pick. And just some notes on Pacers offense. It's so dope. Oladipo leading the NBA in handoff points per game at almost 6 times what he was doing last year. Malcolm Brogdon's near the top of the NBA in drives per game, shots at the rim per game for guards, and wide open looks. I mean, what great categories to be in the top at. And Sabonis, elite roll man. So this offense is just chef's kiss. Let's talk some basketball from the Wednesday slate and start with the Grizzlies, who had another injury. Grayson Allen sprained his ankle, did not return. We saw Desmond Bane start the second half, play really well in garbage time, and actually split point guard duties in garbage time with John Concar. Again, Kyle Anderson is the backup 1 right now. That continued in the late third quarter, early fourth. That'll happen. So that's why Tyus Jones, this game just got out of hand. The Celtics blew them out. So, I mean, there has to be some changes here. Again, obviously no Grayson Allen, but ideally to get Anthony Melton back, who is not with the team, so he may have got coronavirus. So that means he was out for 12 days, so he probably has to miss at least 1 more. We don't know about that. That's me guessing. But if not, I mean, maybe Bane starts. It makes a lot of sense. Does make sense to bring him off the bench. Possibly bump up Kyle Anderson to the 3 and then run Clark out there and fill in behind him with Gorgie Jang, Conchar, and so on. So a lot of ways to go. Bane definitely looks like a guy who's going to probably have to pick up the slack. And, man, just what a rough start for the Grizzlies. To the Celtics, Jaylen effing Brown. Career-high 42 points in 3 quarters. Stevens put him back in, said that he kind of gave him a wink-wink, and Stevens talked about it after the game, said he's got a lot on his plate, but he wants to have a lot on his plate. So, again, I talked about this for a while now. Jaylen Brown and Tatum run this offense. They're drive machines. They're, for wings, they're among the top guys. Passes out of drives. It's just the way their offense goes now. So, Brown, he ripped up Dillon Brooks, and he dropped 42 on him. He's awesome, as is Tatum. Tatum actually was questionable with a thumb, said he's fine. He hurt it in the first quarter, actually, before the back-to-back, so he played through that. He's okay. And then Jeff Teague got the start, and Brad Stevens, interestingly, said he liked his aggressiveness, and he said the C's will continue to play small most of the time. Peyton Pritchard also played well. Didn't even play in garbage time, so what does that say about how much Brad Stevens loves Peyton Pritchard? And Daniel Theis also quickly, hand injury early, but returned, looked pretty good. Fun game of the night as the Hawks drop 141 in regulation and lose to the Nets, who scored 145, franchise record for the Hawks for most points scored in a regulation loss. Oof. But John Collins got it going, was interviewed at halftime, and he had dropped a hint that they were scheming up plays to get him touches. I did a big video on Twitter that he's not getting nearly as many roll man attempts. He was leading the league in it last year, and they got him going a little bit. Lloyd Pierce said after the game that he's had success against the Nets before, and he likes them in small ball matchups. The Hawks have had mostly bigger matchups. Grizzlies an exception, so keep an eye on that for DFS going forward. If it's a small ball team, you may want to give Collins a little more consideration. Obviously, Trae Young's absurd, 30 and 11, 16 free throw attempts. The guy's like basically James Harden out there. He's unstoppable on offense right now. Bogdanovich also had a pretty good game. Lloyd Pierce had talked about him being confidently shooting it and even passing up shots, 11 threes. I mean, he wanted to chuck this thing. And then Gallinari hurt his ankle again, did not return. So this is good news for the wings. I mentioned Bogdanovich, Cam Reddish also played really well, and DeAndre Hunter also. And we know Gallo misses a lot of time, so those guys should have a little more opportunity. To the Nets, just ridiculous fourth quarter. Kyrie dropped 17, had a 43-point fourth pull out the win. This team's just ridiculous. Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, as expected, got the start, as we had mentioned, past couple editions in 3-ball and in matchups as well today. And we saw a little bit more of the KD Green combo. There was 8 minutes of that for the most we've seen. They've generally been the 3 to 5 range, excluding when Kevin Durant didn't play. So something to keep an eye on. You see DeAndre Jordan with a light 15 minutes. But yeah, not too much going on here. LeVert minutes were down. Didn't really play well, so I don't really think he's going to quite hit the 30 mark, but upper 20s with big usage, big assist numbers, inefficient shooting is kind of what you're going to expect from LeVert, which is still pretty good for him. The Heat is on. Pull out the nice little bounce-back win against the Bucks after the blowout on national TV. And Tyler Hero, man. Tyler Hero looking like Tyler Hansborough out there, Tyler H-Gang, with his career-high 15 boards. And he's scoring. He's kind of figured it out. He looks a little more comfortable out there, slowing down for him. So after the rough start, I think Hero's ready to take off. Bam looking good. And really, I guess the main story after that is Avery Bradley. I think Avery Bradley is going to move ahead of Mo Harkless, who didn't really play. And Spo had said that he wants to consistently develop grit and toughness during the long season. So he wants consistency here. I thought Bradley was the number 2 candidate to start behind Harkless and go Jimmy small ball. So, with Harkless kind of flaming out, that's something to watch. Although, I said this in the preseason, he played Harkless next to Jimmy almost the entire preseason. So he likes that combination together. So when Jimmy comes back, maybe they'll get Harkless going. He clearly doesn't like him as a 3. And yeah, Dragic is balling off the bench. Moving to the Hornets, and I mentioned before, I like James Borrego, man. He does not BS us. He told us that LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges are going to get it going in this one. Guess who blew up today? Miles Bridges, 20 and 16. Sure, PJ Washington got into foul trouble, but he looked awesome. And LaMelo, best game of the year, 22, 8, and 5. 29 minutes, shot great, really confident shooting out there. We don't have the hammer yet. The hammer is we want to see 3 guards. We want to see with him, Rozier, and Devontae Graham. Hasn't happened yet. 10 minutes alone, 25 with Devontae, 46 with Rozier to fill up his 81 minutes. So if that ever happens, we should feel great. I'm not ready to say LaMelo's ready to go off, but obviously what a great night for him. Gordon Hayward struggled, mentioned the Washington foul trouble, and yeah, just a big win. Mavs and Nets in 1 week. The Mavs did have Josh Richardson despite being called questionable earlier in the day with a calf strain. Good sign there. Didn't play well. That's okay. And Luka Doncic is off to a really bad start. He's out 2 of 21 from 3, 1 of 4 on mid-range. His at-the-rim shots are even down to 59% after he led guards there last year on FG% at the rim. And he said that, I just think my legs are really tired, but it's not an excuse. He said that he's playing his way into shape after the short offseason. Even Coach Rick Carlisle said, it's clear Luka doesn't have his rhythm yet. And he said he didn't want to talk about Luka's conditioning. He looks a little tired. So, we probably got to wait for Luka smash. You may not want to play him in DFS for a couple slates until we see him look good again. But, yeah, we know what he could do. Probably just a matter of time. And Mavs, man, not a great start with them, 1-3. Not too much going on with the Spurs besides DeJounte Murray. Breakout, such an easy breakout pick to make. He's on fire. I expect him to do this most of the season. Keldon, another tough matchup with AD. He'll be better next time. Pirtle, foul trouble. He should be better as well. Lakers, AD got a block, woohoo! And happy birthday, LeBron. Not too much in the late game besides Paul George looking great. He said the more I get the legs under me, the more conditioned, the better I'll be. Definitely a goal to rebound the ball better. Kawhi returned, had a mask on, said he didn't like it, so it's all good. And Dame struggled against Pat Bev. That's fine. That'll do it. So you guys take care. Happy New Year. Catch you next time.